All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to start this lesson by giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kudash. Double honors, as always, to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us all this truth, and who also rule and teach well. And Shalom to Allah Achim in this truth and sincerity, starting with the 144,000 and the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, which we are fighting to be a part of. All right, this is the brother ChaabarYakalATL coming back, Lord willing, with another quick and edifying lesson. And as you can see, the title is "The Secrets Are Revealed to the Meek," and basically just going into, the 100% truth, of the Bible, which was given, through the Holy Spirit to the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone on down. It's not revealed to everyone, all right? And that's, especially for you new, there's so happens to be a new listener or, a new believer, that happens to be watching this lesson, that's something to expect, and it's truth, all right? Excuse me, that not everyone is going to get it, that your family is not going to be able to get it, that your friends aren't going to be able to understand, which it is possible for, there's been instances of, bros who told their actual biological brother and they were able to get it, or they told their friend. So it can happen, but expect the opposite to happen though. All right. Because it's not revealed to everyone, Matter of fact, the Lord isn't dealing with everyone. And, there's a plethora. Matter of fact, since I'm in Romans, let me just get this one. There's another one on my mind too, but I'll get this. Romans chapter 7 and 11 and 7. It says, what then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So Israel, which the biblical Israelites in modern times are you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, and also Israelite foreigners who might not look like those people I just mentioned, those nationalities. Those are the modern day biblical Israelites, all right? So Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, meaning the average Israelite, the average so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American isn't going to get the truth, because what is the average Israelite seek for in life? All right, the truth. To some Jakes, their truth might be, selling drugs, rapping, committing adultery. That might be their truth. All right, but that's not the truth. That's the point. So ultimately they didn't obtain what they sought for. All right, the American dream. That's not the truth. A lot of Jakes are seeking after the American dream. But they have not obtained it, because that's not the truth. All right, that's why it says, he hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the elect of the Israelites. All right, that's a select few members of, the nation of Israel. Not all Israelites will be able to get the truth, even though the Israelites are the chosen people. But not every Israelite is going to be able to get it. There's a chosen of the chosen. The Israelites are the chosen people. Then you got the elect of the nation of Israel, which starts with the 144,000, which are all men, which are going to be the kings of the next kingdom to come. The 144,000 is going to be the governing body. Then you got 1/3, which are men, women, and children, which will be also saved. All right. But it says the election hath obtained it, meaning the elect are the only ones who are going to be able to get this truth. No one else is going to be able to get it. All right. Reading on, it says, and the rest were blinded. So anyone outside of the elect is blinded to the truth. They can't get it. You know, they simply just can't get it. It's not for them. You know. You know, the elect were predestined before anything was created to be able to get this gospel, you know, to be able to understand it, you know, to be able to have the 100% truth. The elect were predestined before anything was created, you know, and everyone else, they were predestined not to be able to get it. All right. So I'm going to get Matthew 13 and 10. All right, Matthew, so like 13 and 10. All right, it says, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? It says, and he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you. You know, matter of fact, dealing with verse 10, before I go into verse 11, you know, pretty much a parable. You know, Yahushua was pretty much, when you read up, you know, he was speaking in parables, which I'll go into the word parable, you know, in case you might not know. You know, it's basically like a metaphor, you know, but I'm going to go into the word.
Strong's G 3850, parabole. Parabole.
You know, parabole sounds like parable. It says a placing of one thing by the side of another, juxtaposition, as of ships in battle. Metaphor. It says a comparison of one thing with another, likeness, similitude. Okay. So a proverb, you know. Also another word is dark saying. Meaning it's like something, it's a riddle, you know, it's something, when you say it, you might not catch it right away. You got to think about it, or you might just not get it. It might not be for you to get. That's this truth. You know, the Lord was speaking unto the crowds of people in parables. They couldn't understand what he was saying. You know, it says, verse 11, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. So that's why he was speaking in parables. It's not given to everyone to understand, you know. And I was just watching, you know, the elders in Dallas, you know, shalom to the Dallas camp. But they were also going into that, how the Bible is written and set up in a way to where not many people could understand it. Deliberately, you know, there's certain parts of the Bible where when you read it, it's not really saying what it's actually literally saying. You know, like it might speak about clouds, but it's not talking about actual clouds. You know, it might be referring to the chariots, the vehicles of the angels, you know, what the world ignorantly calls UFOs. That's just one example, you know. So it's written in a way to where not all can understand. But the elect, you know, that's another thing that they said too. When I was just watching their live stream, you know, only the scriptures is written in a way only the elect can get it, you know. Which is, you know, it's a beautiful thing, man. Hey, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Lord willing, we retain it unto the end. I'm going to get John 14 and 16 next. John chapter 14 and verse 16. It says, and I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever. which the comforter is the 100% truth of the Bible. That's the comforter through the Holy Spirit. It says, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him. All right. So the world can't receive it. It's a mystery unto them. All right. It's not revealed unto them. It's hidden. Just like a treasure, a treasure is buried. Not everyone has access to it. You gotta find a treasure map. You gotta map it out where it's at. But not everyone has access to that. This is likened unto a treasure. It says but ye know him, for he dwelleth with you and shall be in you, because they're of the elect. Lord willing, we're of the elect. But that's why we know him. He said, my sheep hear my voice. And that ties into what I said. Before anything was even created, the elect were already chosen. That's why we know Yahweh Shai's voice, which is the Spirit of truth. All right, the scriptures, Lord willing, we're of the elect. But I read 17, didn't I? Yep. So I'm gonna end off with 1 Corinthians. And here's just one example of, one of the many mysteries of the truth. There's just one that I picked out, because it had the word mystery in it. I think it's the last verse. Let's see. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 51. It says, behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. All right. Basically, the bodies that we're in right now, it's going to come a time, when the Lord comes back with the army of angels and saves us, he's going to change these bodies that we're in. We're not taking these bodies into the kingdom of heaven. He's going to give us a new superhuman, immortal body. Might be 12 feet tall, muscles, a perfect, superhuman body. And that's a mystery. Not everyone understands that. That's hidden. The majority of the world, they can't even conceive that in their mind. That the Lord's going to save us by what the world ignorantly calls UFOs and simultaneously change our body to a superhuman body. That's a mystery. Not everyone knows that, not everyone has access to that information. All right. Because they're not of the elect, but the elect is going to know this and understand it and believe it. I'm going to get the word for mystery.
Strong's G 3466, Musterion. Musterion.
It's Musterion. And it says hidden thing, secret, mystery. Generally, mysteries, religious secrets, confided only to the initiated and not to ordinary mortals. Right, because the elect aren't ordinary mortals, We're literally walking in mortals, but it's not appearing to be so, It hasn't physically manifested yet, It says a hidden or secret thing, not obvious to the understanding. That's pretty much it. So yeah, Lord willing, as the lesson was edifying, the secrets were revealed unto us. Lord willing, we're of the elect. Once again, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakudah, Shalom.